And welcome in to the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. My buddy is a heartbroken individual this evening. I hate to be that way. But
welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast.
Anyway, the opener there is going to tell you this is the Rob and Kale Show. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. Jackpot has been all over the Southeast this week, it seems like. But he is the number one Gamecock YouTuber on the planet and a heartbroken individual, Mr. Carolina Jackpot. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Rob? I'm good. Don't be too quick to judge. Carolina Jackpot's just fine and dandy. No heartbreak here.
No, sir. I thought that. Well, I mean, you even used the term in your video earlier that it was a gut-wrenching loss, right?
Yeah. Well, it's over with, so time to move on.
Well. We need to talk about the game. You want to get into that a little bit, or do you want to do something else? All right. So, look, we'll talk about the Alabama game in a second. First things first. The Calloway's Pick'em Challenge. The updated standings are up on robandkaleshow.com. Someone got 10 this week. The Sly one got 10 correct this week. Congratulations to the Sly one. That is a heck of a showing there. 10 out of 11 is really, really good. So,
good job.
Congratulations to him. All right, quick note. I've had like 4 people ask me, hey, can you tell me which games I got correct and which games I didn't? Look, it comes back to you in an email. If you put your email address in correctly, it'll tell you in your email which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong. So, and it's not that I'm trying to be rude, but for me to go back and leaf through and try to find them, it'd be an all-day thing. And I love y'all, but it's in your email. I mean, that's the best that I can tell you. You can also look at what you picked and look at the scores and determine, hey, this is what I got. So
yeah, I just screenshot your picks when you put them in.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier than that, but easy as that. But it's just folks are thinking I'm being rude about this, and I'm not. It's just that I can't stop in the middle of, whenever, and hey, go look. And somebody submitted 12 times last week, and they only got 3 correct at the end of it.
Jesus Christ. They probably got them 10 correct on their first submission.
They had 9 correct at one point, but ended up with 3 correct at the end. And I submit whatever you want. Just understand the last one that you submit before noon on Saturday is the one we're going to go with. And I can't look up your stuff all the time, y'all. It's just tough. So I want to put that out there. All right, let's get the elephant out of the room first. South Carolina.
Answer a few comments here real quick before they go away. Jay Rice said, how was the driving through Atlanta and Birmingham? I didn't drive through Birmingham. That road, it took me around there, so I didn't go through there. Atlanta was awful. When I drove down there on Friday afternoon, we spent more time in Fulton, stop scratching that, Fulton and DeKalb County, Georgia, than we spent in the entire rest of the trip from Greenville to Pell City. Yeah, so that was the shits. You need good barbecue. There was a place called Rusty's that we ate at on Saturday evening in Leeds, Alabama. It was they were really nice there. I even got a T-shirt that I bought from Rusty's, and it, yes, indeed, is in Leeds, Alabama, the home of the Green Wave, it says. But the people there were really, really, really nice, but the food was mid as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Notice if Jackpot comes off with, look, the people were really nice there at the restaurant, then they were probably serving him Kraft mac and cheese.
It was mid. The sides were okay. I had pulled chicken. People are gonna say, well, you should have had pulled pork. That's where it's at. Well, no, I don't, because I like pulled chicken. It wasn't great. It was $15 for a plate, and there wasn't enough on there to justify the $15. Plus, they put something on it, and I don't know what it was, but it wasn't barbecue sauce. But they did have barbecue sauces on the table. We sat outside and ate it. There wasn't that many people there. But anyway, I had that. So yeah, I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time there around that stadium and stuff after it was over. There was a ton of fucking people there. I've never been to a game before where there were that was that heavily attended as well. Sorry, I've been to Tennessee before, so I have been at one that was over 100,000. I don't know, it was over 100,000 people there yesterday. That place holds that much, but there were on the other upper deck. There were a good bit of empty seats over there. The chairback ones, I guess those are where the season ticket holders, a lot of them sit. And I guess since they lost to Vanderbilt, they figured they didn't want to come to the game this week or some shit, or because they were playing Carolina. I don't really know, but it looked like it was probably more like 90,000 to me. But
hey, let me ask you something, Jackpot. And I'm not trying to troll here, but how fucking spoiled are those fans that with the way that they've been, right? I mean, college football playoff last year, some national titles, all of that shit. And then they lose one game to Vanderbilt, and you got assholes that are like, I'm not going to any more games. You know, we normally do sour grapes on this show when South Carolina gets a win they're not supposed to. I've got some tweets from Alabama fans we'll share later that it looks like they lost the game the way some of them acted. But did you get that vibe from them that they were just entitled pricks?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say so. I will say the fans weren't rude. Nobody was rude at all. Nobody. I mean, there was one drunk, young guy like my son's age running his mouth out there after the game was over with. And I don't know. My son popped off something at his dumb ass, but that was about it. But other than that, nobody was rude, and everybody that was sitting around me, they felt bad for me, I think. Because it was all there was a couple of Gamecock fans over here. There was a lot of Alabama people here. All the Gamecock people sit together. I don't know how they get that. I think they do it through the school or something to get all those tickets together. I don't really know, but
they section off a good section of them at each SEC game. That's why you'll see whoever's, they always generally sit right near the band in the upper deck at Williams-Brice.
I'm not
but you're not. Jackpot's not giving them $70,000 of his money though. Fuck them.
Yeah, I'm not rich, and I don't give money like that. So yeah.
Rob has an SEC bias. Says Jackpot Jr. looks like he could whip some ass. Dude's built sturdy. Yeah, well, I mean, all due respect to Jackpot Jr., you better make sure all of us are going with you if you're going to fight in Alabama Stadium. Holy shit, dude.
Makima over in the comment section. Here's an idiot. Hope you enjoyed your Super Bowl. That's my favorite. That's my favorite term in the world. The Super Bowl comment. That hasn't ever been used at all. Really original there. 4-8 season incoming. Okay, whatever. Whatever. We'll talk about that. We're playing a real juggernaut this coming week. So there.
You got rent free. You got that wrong.
Yeah. So and also him too. So we're gonna get rid of him because I don't want to hear bullshit from a dumbass.
Yeah. I don't know why the change. Let's see here. No, it shouldn't have done that. Anyway. Anyway, there you go, Jackpot. We got dum-dums running their mouths this evening. That's just the way that it is. By the way, let's go over the game a little bit.
Ballcore says my quarterback literally just used that term last year, pipe down, bub. Yeah, you talking about the one who was throwing touchdown passes today in the NFL? Yeah, he did. But so it doesn't mean that just because he used it doesn't mean that I agree with it or I like it. I mean, he might drink Heineken beer. I don't like Heineken beer either. So.
Well, let me give you something here, Jackpot. If I told you going into this game that you were going to have a game where Sellers threw for more yards and more touchdowns than Jalen Milroe, you would have thought South Carolina had a damn good chance to win. Would you agree?
Yeah, and they did. They should have. As a matter of fact,
He ended up with 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Milroe finished with 209, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. Sellers outplayed Milroe in his own house. Write that down.
Is it safe for me to go on ahead and say that I think Milroe is mid as fuck too?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some big. He has talent. He's had some big games, but I mean, he looked nothing special to me. I mean, I think the other two SEC quarterbacks that we've played have been. I mean, Jackson Dart and Nussmeier looked a lot better to me than Milroe. He looks like maybe he looked maybe a bump above Brock Vandegrift.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think he's having a bad couple of games, really. So,
look, I don't want to take anything away from what South Carolina did, though. Y'all played a good game, so let's not just put out there that Milroe is mid. Maybe the Gamecock defense made Milroe mid. 5 sacks on the day, and this guy looked like they were running the damn Loggins offense, where he ended up being the leading ball carrier. 18 carries. That's some Gamecock offense if I've ever seen it. Why is this guy taking at least 30 hits from that South Carolina defense out of the 61 plays? He got hit at least 30 times. That is some Dow Loggins bullshit right there from Alabama.
Well, all the times he got sacked, that counts as a carry too. So,
yeah, but still,
15 carries is a lot if we want to. So
either way, let's take the 5 sacks out of it. He still had 13 carries. That would mean he still had more carries than the other Alabama running back got. So
and he was decent. I mean, he was decently effective. Jam Miller. The other one, Haynes, he didn't look as good as Miller to me.
Well, but South Carolina held them, and of course sacks count into this. But 104 yards on the ground, that's pretty good. I hate to be that way.
Also, they shut down. Well, they didn't totally shut him down, but they held Ryan Williams in check, the talented freshman. I think he had how much did he have?
4 catches, 32 yards, jackpot. Not to
cut you off. They didn't let him get behind them. He likes to get down the sideline. That's that little fly route and catch it kind of over the shoulder. He wasn't able to do any of that. So
the only Bama receiver that I would say that hurt you was Jeremy Bernard. 4 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. He averaged 22 yards a catch. So that's pretty good. So, but look, I don't know where to go with South Carolina from here because they've been so Jekyll and Hyde. You can make the argument that the 3 losses that they have, being to LSU, Ole Miss, who played a hell of a game last night, and Alabama. Beginning of the season, this is kind of where you thought they would be. I know you picked them to lose to Kentucky, but 3-3 at this point is kind of where we thought the Gamecocks would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I had it at this point. So took a little bit a stranger path to get there, but yeah.
Right. Well, you had them, if I remember right, you had them beating Ole Miss in your predictions.
No, sir, I did not. No, I had them beating LSU and losing to Kentucky.
LSU, I'm sorry. You had them losing to Kentucky but beating LSU, so kind of flip-flop. Sorry about that. Anyway, look, the road could be bright for South Carolina. They're playing an Oklahoma team this week that, I mentioned this on the radio yesterday, has the worst offense in the conference. I don't think that's changed. Going into yesterday's game against Texas, they had the worst offense in the conference. Now, I said South Carolina's not going to win a game in October, but you're taking a pretty gritty, rugged South Carolina defense in there to Oklahoma. Shit. They may get that win down there, jackpot. I don't know what the line is yet, but
would you respond to Greg over in the comment section? He said, "Jackpot, remember 31-30, you said a loss was a loss. You didn't let any Clemson fans say Clemson played good. Take your medicine and loss it." Where am I not taking my medicine? Please let me know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think people just get on this app and just type out dumb shit.
That's funny. Do. Well, Jackpot went on live during the loss. I mean, while they were losing, and was live and had his reaction there while they were losing. I don't know how much more you can expect of him than take your medicine.
Unfortunately, I've muted myself, like, I think right before the end of the game. So that kind of sucked. It would have made for some better television if I had not done that. But I've went live in a stadium before, but it's been a long time. And I will say that I was able to do a lot of things there, check scores and all this on my phone that I'm not normally able to do at a lot of other stadiums. Their cell phone reception is usually pretty shitty. So shout out to the Alabama cell phone tower type of people, because they got it going on down there.
So let me give you some perspective really quick. I'm in studio, right? And we've got the game on the TV here, and my radio cohorts are on the other side of our wall there. So there's that. And I've got you on in the background, right? And when you guys recovered the onside kick, then you said, hey, we got it. Well, TV was behind. So I knew that they recovered the onside kick before it showed up on TV. So I'm telling them, I tell Christopher Thompson, I'm like, yeah, they recovered the onside kick. And he goes, no, they didn't. And then 30 seconds later, they recovered the onside kick. I look like Nostradamus. Because I was ahead. It was like you and your streams. You know what I mean?
That's great.
So,
I mean, usually my streams, I was saying that during the thing, usually these streams are like 2 minutes behind what's going on in the field. I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm ahead of everybody today.
You were ahead of the ESPN feed. Nick says Sellers is 0-3 since abandoning the goggles. Okay. I mean, I don't think there's an issues with Sellers seeing. I mean, they've got the Gamecock football team as an eye doctor. I mean, I'm sure he's able to see 20/20 out there. I don't know. Maybe there's that. Maybe you've just lost to 3 good teams. Maybe there's that too, right, Jackpot?
I'd say so. Those are three top 10 teams.
Yeah, are they in the top 10 right now? I think they are.
Well, Ole Miss wouldn't be anymore. I would think.
So yeah, after week 8, let's see here. Ole Miss is. Where is Ole Miss?
LSU's number 8.
Yeah, well, let me see here. So you lost to Alabama, who's 7. I don't even see. Oh yeah, Ole Miss is 18, and LSU is 8. So you lost to 7, 8, and 18. Those are your 2 losses on the season. So there's that. All right, quickly to Clemson. Clemson beat up on Wake Forest. I don't know how bad has Wake Forest gotten. Clemson football put out a video earlier of Klubnik and the guy who threw Klubnik the touchdown pass, where they're breaking down the pass on the sideline. So they're like looking at a tablet and breaking it down on the sideline, and somebody's recording him. And they're basically clowning Wake Forest with like, look at us goofing on you while we're throwing touchdown passes.
Was it Antonio Williams?
Yeah, it was Antonio Williams talking about, hey, I threw it down. Yeah, there's that. What a mess.
Yeah, I don't know. Wake Forest, they've kind of fallen off the map. I think NIL's hurt them. They've had a ton of people transfer out that, he couldn't keep a quarterback for one. I mean, everybody leaves to go elsewhere. So, well,
Clemson wins 49-14. Blake asked if I work with Christopher Thompson. Yes, I've been doing Gamecock coverage with him for 20 plus years now. So, yes, I do. Will Clemson play a team with a winning record this year? Yes, they've got Pittsburgh, who is undefeated. They are 6-0. Pittsburgh is currently ranked as the 20th best team in the country. They also will play Louisville. Louisville will have a winning record there. After that, the other teams I'm not so sure about, to be completely honest with you. So let's look at some of the other games here, Jackpot. Ole Miss and LSU, a great game down in the Bayou that LSU just pulls out. I mean, what else can you say about them? They won down there like they were supposed to.
Dropped their nuts.
Yeah.
And got down, but they were down. I think they were down double digits in that game, weren't they, at one point?
They were at one point, yeah.
Yeah. And then came back. I was trying to watch some of that on the way back, and that one was over, I think, about 11:30-ish. That was pretty late.
Right.
But I stopped to get gas outside of Anderson when they scored there at the end to win that game. So I was pretty happy to see that. I don't like Ole Miss, so I'm not a huge fan of either team, but I was glad to see them. It looks like it's starting to come together for them there with LSU and that.
The other, we can talk about Tennessee and Florida a little bit, but just offensive ineptitude is what I took away from that. I mean, 3-0 at the half. That's why the picture that I had for the update for the standings was Tennessee is morphing into Iowa, because that's how they look. They just look like that offense just looks like it's the shits, Jackpot.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I was shocked. I was at 3-0, and my son had it up, and I'm like, is it still 3-0? I'm like, damn. I mean, that's just. But then, they kind of caught fire there toward the end of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, and then they had that lead, and then Florida throws that nice touchdown pass Lagway on that seam route. And then I was actually in QT outside of Atlanta when that happened, getting a drink, and I was watching. I'm like, is he going to go for two? I'm like, is he going to, is he going to show some guts here and go for two? And they lined up in that crazy formation, and then they called timeout, and then he goes with the higher percentage deal there with the extra point. I don't know. And I mean, you got to make those decisions in like a split second. What you're going to do, really? I mean, you don't have, not a split second, but you don't have a lot of time to make those decisions. But damn, I mean,
well, yeah,
hindsight of being 2020. I mean, you just scored, you knocked them on their heels, you called the plays. Figure something out. I would have gone for two probably and tried to win it right there, because winning in overtime on the road, even though you got some momentum back with that touchdown, I mean, the Hillbillies had just scored 17 unanswered before that, and they still had the momentum, really.
Right.
So,
I agree with you.
Hard to win on the road in overtime. If you remember a few years ago, I got pissed off about Mac Brown not kicking the extra point against Clemson to go. You remember that?
Yeah,
2019, he wouldn't kick an extra point to force overtime against Clemson in Chapel Hill, and he tried a 2-point conversion, and it failed, and they lost. And I was like, well, the fuck didn't he go and kick an extra point? I mean, they could have gone to overtime, and his reasoning was that, they had the momentum, and, I don't know.
I agree with you. They should have went for two. It gave him the better opportunity. And look, Napier's going out on his sword anyway. If he could have converted that 2-point conversion, they win the game, they leave Tennessee. He has something to go like, okay, y'all are going to fire me. Well, you know what? I've kind of owned Tennessee here lately. They can't win there. I went up there and won. You guys want to fire me. Well, good luck with that. See how that goes with the folks there. But I probably would have done that. He was too conservative in my opinion, but maybe there was stuff with injuries or something we didn't know about. Maybe he just didn't trust Lagway after the injury to the other quarterback to convert. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Well, Billy says the Tennessee D won that game. No, they didn't. Tennessee didn't win that game. Florida lost it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, you're probably right. It was nothing Tennessee did. It was what Florida didn't do. To quote a wise man from the upstate. When it comes to something else. All right, the other one, Samson's our starting running back got injured as well, Rob. I'm with you. Just saying, I probably would have went for it. I'd have ran a bootleg out and tried to make some plays with Lagway's feet.
Is Sam a Florida man?
I don't know. He might be. He might be. All right, then the other game. What was the other game? Did we have another game there, Jackpot? I can't remember. Oh,
Georgia playing with its food again.
Fuck, Georgia just whatever.
I see it all. I could see this thing, man. With all the arrests and the off-field fuckery and just seem to be lack of focus. I can see it starting to come to fruit right now, if that makes any sense.
Do you think the wheels in the wagon are loosening up? Is that what you're thinking?
It looks like it to me. It really does.
It could come off the rails for Georgia or Alabama or Tennessee this coming weekend, because you've got Georgia playing Texas this weekend. I think that game's in Austin. Alabama has to go to Tennessee. Alabama's been the shits here lately. If they go up to Tennessee and just manhandle Tennessee, you talk about the wheels could come off there for Heupel. But if Tennessee beats them, then the wheels could come off for Alabama. You thought they were pissed about losing to Vanderbilt. You lose to Vanderbilt, you go 0-for against the state of Tennessee in 1 year at Alabama. They may fire him on the spot.
I don't know. That's going to be a tough one for me. I see Alabama's favored by a little bit right now. I could see either one of them winning that game. If Alabama gets their shit together, they have a talented roster, they should be able to win that game. But it's far from a given to me. If you had to ask me right now, I think Tennessee beats them.
They might.
I predicted that in my preseason video for Tennessee. I also predicted them to lose to Kentucky at home. And I was feeling pretty good about that up until yesterday.
Well, and that's because Vanderbilt just, stood on business and went up there to Kentucky and won.
That was yet another. I mean, it was just a boring game. It's ugly and hard to watch, but I mean.
All right, so Jackpot, really quick.
By the way, did you see the Vandy player get hurt yesterday? And his parents had to come up there on the field with him.
I don't want to see all that. I don't like seeing these kids get hurt. I kind of tune away from that.
But I'm saying his parents got out on the field with him. He got hurt. It was in the first half, and they loaded him up in the ambulance, and they took him away. They stopped the game for probably 10, 15 minutes, and at the end of the game, he came back. I mean, he came back, and he was standing on the sidelines. So it was really just some kind of a neck stinger that I guess looked, and they thought it was a lot worse than what it really was. And I was like, damn, I'm like, that's some – that reminded me, that was about like when old Mick Foley got through off the top of the Hell in the Cell, and they stretchered him out, and he just got off the stretcher and just came back down the ramp for more. He didn't get back in the game. He came back
and was in the – people forget about that. In the main event, he came back after getting thrown off the cell, had that match, then came back and interfered with Austin and Kane in their match in the main event. So
yeah,
supposedly,
this kid tough
as nails. Early lines from ESPN odds here. Jackpot has the Gamecocks as a 2.5-point dog heading into Oklahoma. Alabama is a 2.5-point favorite heading to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Clemson's a 22.5-point favorite over Virginia. I'm trying to find the Texas line. Hold on here. Scroll through these here. Now, these are not our lines for the Pick'em Challenge. Don't start with all that nonsense. LSU is a 2.5-point favorite over Arkansas. They're going down to the land of the hog. Vandy's a 26.5-point favorite over Ball State. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on, let's see. Where's the Texas line? Texas and Georgia. It's not here yet. They should have had that out early. Hold on, let me see if it's up here. You didn't see a Texas-Georgia line, did you, Jackpot?
Texas is favored by 3.5.
Okay. At home. All right.
7:30. That line seems short to me, but
Volcor says, thank you for the super chat. Did you see the ref go to the hospital in Hawaii? No, I did not stay up that late, but
no.
Hopefully that is better. We don't like to hear about.
Were you the one to tell me to always take Hawaii to cover
in basketball?
Well, they covered in football last night by the hook.
By the hook. Well, hey, hopefully you won some money with that, Jackpot.
No, I didn't. I don't bet Hawaii, but No, they did. I stayed up really late because I got home real late. I watched the end of Dion's game.
Oh,
yeah, they shit the bed.
All right. So early thoughts, though. You think you guys go down to Okie and win it?
I mean, I gotta look at more of them. I don't see where they're going to be explosive enough against our defense to do, much of anything really. But I don't see where we're going to be. Explosive plays for us are few and far between. I don't know where we get enough of those to have much of an edge against them. It looks like it's kind of like first 1 to 14 wins, maybe, or.
So let me see here. Hold on. Let me make sure I give you the correct. Yeah, Oklahoma still has the worst offense in the conference, averaging 287 yards per game. Kentucky is ahead of them at number 15, I guess, with 321. So they're 34 yards better than Oklahoma. This just screams that my Cocktober thing is gonna be in peril because that offense is just terrible. They didn't look good against Texas yesterday. I mean, they're not helping Jackpot. They're not. So Jackpot, somebody messaging you, Jackpot, tell them, fuck you, we're doing a show.
No, I'm trying to keep up with our chats on here.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to put the link out here so people can join. Sugar Nut says that Sooners quarterback is worse than Nico. Billy says South Carolina beats Oklahoma. Okay. We shall see.
I hope so, man. They need a big win. I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, this would be a big win, but
I am more confident, and I said you'd go 0 for October, but watching more and more Oklahoma, I'm more confident that you can beat Oklahoma than Vanderbilt. Forgive me for being that way. I think you have a better chance of beating Oklahoma than beating Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt, I don't know what they're doing, but they have some offense, and their quarterback, he's got scuffing problems from his nuts dragging the ground. That guy plays his ass off every game. So
I think he might win his match with our defense, but yeah, that's going to be a good one. I hope the team's just not down on themselves and get and get intimidated by the venue and that, which they weren't intimidated by going to Tuscaloosa, so that going to this place shouldn't be a problem as far as that goes. But yeah.
All right, let's go out to the phones. Folks are already, I say the phones. Let's go out. Folks are dropping in here. That UGA fan joins us first. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the program.
What's up? So, is Bama really a top 10 team? And I kind of think the same way about Georgia, too. Is both Georgia and Bama really top 10 teams?
Neither one of them looked like it yesterday, but
no.
Right there on the couch.
Here goes Georgia again playing one half of football.
Yeah, they kind of just play with their food too much.
They go from only playing second half. Now they're playing first half. I swear this team's going to end up putting me in an early grave.
Right. Well, I think I don't know, man. I think like I was saying, I think some of those off the field problems and lack of discipline and crazy stuff might be starting to come back to bite that team in the ass. It's just my
agree.
fault. I don't know, but
I agree. Did y'all see Kirby shove the Mississippi State quarterback as he was yelling at the ref?
No, but I heard about it.
I heard about it. I did a full look at it.
He was yelling at the ref, and the Mississippi State quarterback he was running out of bounds, and he got between Kirby and the ref, so Kirby shoved him out of the way.
I don't know. I mean, I'm in the camp of if you're not coaching that player, like if it's an opposing team's player, Kirby's getting paid what? I don't know, $11 million, a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
He should be able to show enough restraint to not put his hands on an opposing team's player. And if I was the opposing team's coach, I would have went over there and been like, look here, motherfucker, don't touch my players. And I'd have every right to say that to him. No, I'm serious. Don't you? I mean, I told that young man's parents I was going to take care of their kid. And then all of a sudden he's on the field and some other coach is pushing him. I don't know. Yeah. Absolutely not. That can't happen, period. Kirby was wrong about that, and he'll probably apologize later on. He knows better. He absolutely knows better. So, but Billy says it depends on what the kid said. Well, you're supposed to be better than the kid. You're supposed to be teaching the kid. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different.
I agree. And what makes it even worse is the fact that Georgia lost Alabama, but now Alabama's shit in the bed against everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least they did win, so they pulled it out. I think they'll probably get their shit together.
That only protects.
All right, hey man, you're breaking up on us. I'm about to move on. I'm sorry, buddy. Your phone's just crappy there. Thanks for checking in though. Gamecock Sporty, who just had his Instagram hacked. How are you going to troll the women without your Instagram, man? What's going on? You can't have that without that on campus.
This has just been a weird weekend. I mean, it's been a good weekend for me. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I went back home to celebrate my birthday. I mean, today's my birthday. But
happy birthday.
21 years old now, but
yeah, you could stop using that fake ID to get into Steve Tannehill's bar. Good for you.
Yeah,
you don't have to address my wife outside of Calloway's to sneak you into Calloway's for the live show. Good for you, sir.
Yeah, I saw your wife and I was like, where's the podcast at? Like, I didn't know where I was at. I thought I was at the wrong location. I'll definitely try and pull up there again.
That boy alone.
I'll definitely pull up again for that this year.
Yeah. Well, by the way, we are doing the live show. That is happening. It's going to be the day after Thanksgiving. More details to come, but we are going to do a live show there. I'm working on some different things for that. So, shout out to Tony Wiggum, who has paid for Jackpot's room, so Jackpot can come and have beers with us without having to
pay for my room.
Tony Wiggum, the Wig. Captain Wiggum from the Air Force has paid for your room, sir.
No,
he said, I have to take care of it. He's a big Alabama fan, but wanted to make sure you made it for the live show. So thank you for that.
On second thought, I'm probably not going to be able to make it to that because, and I'm ashamed to say this, but it makes me seem like a bad fan, but I'm going to be in Costa Rica during Thanksgiving break and when Clemson plays South Carolina.
Sorry to hear that, sir. About to figure that out. All right, thoughts on the game, buddy? What you got?
Yeah, we'll talk about the Alabama-South Carolina game first. Here's a few of my takes. I think we'll start with the defense. I mean, just another game where the defense goes out and gives it their all. I mean, I think we held Bama to like 300 yards of total offense. We held Milroe to like 200 yards passing. Yep. I think rushing they had around like 100, but 4 or 5 sacks, I believe, and then 2 turnovers.
Safety.
I really thought we almost had a third turnover, I believe, on a kickoff where they fumbled on the kickoff, and we were this close to recovering the fumble on a kickoff, and that was after we took the lead after getting like one. We had a drive to start the third quarter. We took like 9 minutes off the clock, but
yeah, we went on one of those. I like to call it an army drive.
Yeah, that was good though. That was.
Yeah, it's like Army gets the ball to start the third quarter, and they'll go on a drive, and they'll score a touchdown, and you look up, and there's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. That's what it was like.
Yeah, I think there was like 6 minutes left in the third quarter when we were kicking the ball off after scoring. Offense, the play calling is just mind-numbingly bad. Now, there were a couple of play calls in particular that I thought were really good.
I thought he called a better game yesterday than he has been.
I mean, the shovel pass on 3rd and short was a good call.
Yep.
The bomb down the sideline to Mazio Bennett, that was a good play call. And I think the big thing is
that Nick Harbor was a good one, I would say.
Yeah, that was a good
And
play.
I would agree. I think Rocket Sanders is starting to get lathered up as a running back now.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
I just hate that stupid pass that stupid pass play he likes to. I call it
the swing pass out to the running back. Yeah, the swing
pass out to the sideline where you may pick up 3 yards. It's a play designed to where you're supposed to be able to break the legs off of the DB or whoever's coming up and make a miss and get down the field. But
we don't have a receiver that's capable.
We can't do that, and it's a shit play. They called it on like a 3rd and 8, and we pick up 2 yards from it. I mean, you need 8 yards. We need a play call that's going to pick up 9 yards, not one that's going to pick up fucking 2 yards. So that's why I've said this guy continues to be a boat anchor that's dragging down that offense. Calling a good plays 50% of the time doesn't cut it.
Yeah. Now, there's some people giving Sellers a lot of heat. Sellers played his best game throwing the football. I mean, 230. What did he finish, like 238? 2 touchdowns. Like, there's some people that don't understand that he's a redshirt freshman and he's 19 years old still. Now, I'm not making excuses for, like, I'm sure you saw. I mean, you were at the game, Jackpot. You saw how O'Donnell Fortune got the interception for the touchback, and then we got the ball back, and Sellers fumbled on the read option or whatever. I think he fumbled on the pulling the ball out. He fumbled, but there's a lot of people going after Sellers and saying, like, make a change at quarterback. I'm still behind Sellers. I saw a lot of good things from him yesterday. I saw him make some good throws. Now, did he play perfect? No, but like I saw a lot of good things to build off of.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see how that rolls out. I mean, I hate to be this guy, but if you're put out there as a freshman, they're expecting you to compete now. And freshmen are expecting to play now, or they're going to fucking transfer. It's going to be interesting when, like, Lagway, if Napier gets fired, where Lagway is going to end up.
I think Auburn.
He could end up in Auburn, Miami, whatever.
I think Auburn would be a perfect fit for him. I think he'd be a perfect fit for that.
Last night in that Tennessee game that were rope, like, okay, this kid can chuck it.
Wasn't Clemson recruiting him hard?
Yeah. Clemson was recruiting him hard. And
could it be? Could this be the first one? The first domino.
Yeah, if that's the first one Dabo gets, then okay, sir. Okay. That's your first one. Go get that kid. That's pretty cool. All right, you got a pick for this weekend? You're going to give it to us later on there, Sporty.
Pick for us versus Oklahoma.
Sure.
I think we can beat Oklahoma.
I think you can too.
I think, honestly, call me crazy, but I agree with your take. I think I'm feeling more confident in us beating Oklahoma than I would say Vanderbilt on the road later on.
Like, I know Jackpot kind of cringed. It looked like he was cringing on that. It has nothing to do with South Carolina. It's about Vanderbilt. They're just good. They're a good football team. They're better than Oklahoma is.
I'm not 100% sold on South Carolina losing to them. I mean, we just got some kind of stranglehold on those people. So yeah, they've had some good teams before, and we still beat them. I think that Oklahoma is definitely a more winnable game than Texas A&M at home, for sure. And I said it too. I think there's one of these games South Carolina puts it all together. I think they're going to kick somebody's ass, and it might be this coming weekend.
I would hope so. We're due up for a big win.
All right,
it might be Mizzou. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be fantastic. I'm tired of listening to the dork.
You guys got to start. You guys got to beat the dork.
Yeah,
he's got the thing on you that you got on Vanderbilt, though. So
that is true.
All right, Sporty. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring. First of all, Motley says that Kirby already apologized. Good, I figured that he would. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Rob as an SEC bias joins us.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Billy in here too, Jack. We'll have both of them.
Yeah, bring Billy in. Bring Billy in.
Hi, Billy.
I don't want to hear the $8 million joke. Why don't you grow up?
Hey, pay your talent tax, buddy.
Hey, why don't you go check the SEC QBR ratings just like I told Sam?
Hey, at least we didn't pay $8 million for ours.
Well, good for you, Junior. Good for you.
Your quarterback's a schmuck, Billy.
Won't you grow up?
Billy's 70 years old. Why are you making fun of Billy?
He came in here talking to me.
He might hit you with his cane.
I didn't even say nothing to him. He immediately came in here talking shit like we paid $8 million for our bum ass quarterback.
Your face. You was dying to say it.
70 years old and I had a cane.
I wasn't going to say it, Billy.
You was dying to say it.
I wasn't going to say it.
With it.
Why don't you ask Rob? Rob, what do you think about Tennessee's 10% tax? Well, ask Rob that one.
All right, Rob. What do you think about the talent tax with all these shitty performances Tennessee's had the past 2 weeks? Too. How do you justify that with these shitty performances? Is this not like Kentucky putting out a talent tax at this point?
Hey, Junior, did you break in the top 25 this week? Did you break in the top 25 this week? Just answer the question. Yes
did we pay $8 million to our quarterback?
Did you break in the top 25?
Do we pay 10% tax to our players?
No. And your program is what it is.
Do we pay a 10% tax to our players for shitty performances, Billy?
Don't even start. Don't you grow up with that?
Did we
crap.
pay $8 million for
your
our
program is what
Billy?
it is.
Your program is what it is. I've already showed you. You're South Carolina the past 20 years, Billy. SEC wins reflect it. Go look it up.
What's your schedule?
We are neck and neck with SEC wins.
You can't talk on here for Junior running his mouth.
What's that?
You got a pitiful program. Just enjoy
and so do you, Billy. You know what? While we're here, let's pull it up. SEC wins.
He's got Tennessee
2000.
Tennessee.
Slow down, guys. Hey,
syndrome.
Now, gentlemen.
TDS.
I'm gonna
TDS.
slow down. I want to bring Chris from Georgia on, so I'm gonna pull you guys out for a second and pull him in.
Gone. I don't want no part of this.
I'm gonna give you 1 second.
Run away, Billy. Run away.
Don't run off. Let's bring Chris from Georgia in here because he was upset last time. And Chris, it's good to see you alive, sir. We thought that you had died.
No, I mean there ain't no point in calling after we lost. I mean y'all are just gonna pile on, so it wasn't a big deal.
Well, if you would have watched the show,
do that.
We didn't pile on, sir. We made a couple of comments and we kept it moving.
But I doubt it would have been like that. You probably would have been texting Lou to call in and talk about.
First of all, respectfully, I don't text Lou for anything. So let's make sure that that's out there. I don't know why you think I have like this whole thing where with Lou, etc. I don't care. Lou does his shit.
I was just trying to have a conversation with you, and you kept bringing Lou in when I was trying to talk to just you and Jack.
Lou's hilarious. Lou's
I
funny,
get it. It's funny. I mean, he's a funny guy. That's his redeeming quality.
Yeah. So there's that.
I mean, as long as everybody here realizes that it's a comedy show and not a football show over there, then I think we can all get along. But
so you're well, wait a minute. No. With that implication, you're implying that we don't know about football here. That
no. I said over there, not over here. I said over there.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
But
okay.
No, I just thought it was funny. I was just kind of listening. I think it's funny that talent tax goes for all the sports. And when you're a school like Tennessee, who is making it to the postseason in every single sport, you got a lot of talent you gotta help take care of. We can't all be going out and getting baseball's Mac Brown because our baseball team sucks so bad, or not winning championships anymore in basketball. Or I mean, what kind of percentage tax do you need for women's basketball?
Can I ask you something? You be honest with me.
What's up?
I mean, I'm just being as real as I can here. Aren't you kind of glad you're not playing South Carolina this year? Could you imagine you guys going to Death Valley or not to Death Valley, to Williams-Brice with that offense? Oof.
Never know. I mean, it's had 2 bad games. The defense is shut down though. I mean, the defense is shut down basically anybody you've put in front of it. Do we trust South Carolina? Sitting there saying, "Oh, we don't trust Tennessee's offense." Do we trust South Carolina's offense to do anything against this defense?
No, I'd take the under. It might be like 9-4.
I mean, everybody was hating on James Pierce because they were letting the other defensive lineman play. That dude had between Chicago or Chattanooga and Kent State, he had like 20 snaps between both games, and everybody's like, he's not doing anything. He's a bust. I don't know why they were talking about first round. And then yesterday he comes out and he's literally living in DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz's face, gets a fumble recovery on the 1 yard line. Like, he's a beast. And people were just hating on him. That's the type of stuff that the talent tax is going for, is to get guys like that. Like, we can't all get we got a 5-star Nicholas Harbor, and he got his first touchdown yesterday. That's good for him.
No, that wasn't his first touchdown, so that's not correct.
Why are you coming in throwing shade, man? You should just hope that.
You can bring Rob as an SEC bias if he's still in the backstage. I mean, that's just what I'm saying.
What do you got? What's that?
Listen, you are South Carolina since 2000. The SEC wins reflect it. Give me 5 minutes and I'll add it up, you fucking bum, and show you reality.
That's fine, bro. You're comparing.
Go ahead and send me back to the backstage while I add it up, Rob, so I can embarrass this fool.
He's having to use his fingers and his toes. Let him get off here.
Let me do my math. Yeah, send me back.
Let him get out of there so you don't see his feet on the feed. Nobody wants to see his feet while he's adding up. But are
you implying that County has to have his toes? That's pretty funny.
Fingers and toes. Funny. But
it was very good, sir.
Since 2000, I think every Tennessee fan will tell you that's literally. I mean, our 2 worst seasons in college football history were in the 2000s. Have been since 2000s. I mean, we had before Derek Dooley got here. Tennessee since I want to say the 20s had like 4 freaking losing seasons, and then after that they had 4 losing seasons between Derek Dooley's first season and Butch Jones's first season. Like, that's insane to me that he's sitting here trying to imply the only 11-win seasons out in that era. That's the only 11-win seasons that South Carolina's ever had. He's literally comparing his best era in college football history to Tennessee's worst, and he's like, we the same. Congrats on your ceiling being our floor.
Well, look, if you were looking at it in just the modern era, I mean, you guys have had a pretty shitty 20 years, man.
Oh, I don't disagree. I think that Fulmer's got a national championship, but if you compare Fulmer post 2000 to what we have now, I think we've honestly got a better coach now than we did in Philip Fulmer. Philip Fulmer he was living off a national championship.
So wait a minute now. You're telling me that Josh Heupel is better? Josh Heupel is a better coach than Phil Fulmer is. Is that what you're telling me?
Josh Heupel now is a better coach than Philip Fulmer was in the 2000s.
Yeah, Fulmer went to the SEC championship game during that time or two, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was. How deep in his career was he, though? I'm talking about, like, one, he inherited arguably the second best situation any coach inherited in the 90s, so that helped him out a lot. I mean, that was on par with. He inherited better than Kirby Smart. What Kirby Smart inherited at Georgia, and everybody talks about Kirby Smart being born ahead of the curve compared to what a lot of coaches inherit. And, I mean, Philip Fulmer, he won and recruited off of what Johnny Majors left behind, and he was a good coach then. And then the moment he got that national championship in his pocket, he got lazy as hell. I mean, we stopped.
He was named the AFCA Coach of the Year once, 1 national title, 2 SEC titles, 6 Eastern Division titles, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those in the 2000s. So that kind of doesn't really help your argument there, buddy. No offense.
I mean, we'll see.
4 Eastern Division titles mean nothing? You took him to Atlanta 4 times.
I mean, what was the SEC East then? I mean, the moment Urban Meyer got at Florida, he couldn't win the SEC East anymore. I mean, he got it over on Mark Richt, but the moment Mark Richt had his team established, he couldn't.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, did you get your post on it, sir?
Chris, you have 4 more SEC wins than South Carolina since 2000. You schmuck. You are South Carolina.
Like
what are you talking
you're
about?
Comparing your greatest era.
We won games when people wore leather helmets. Oh my gosh!
You're comparing your greatest era.
We won games in 1907. I don't give a fuck about that. Let's take the last 20 years. What are you talking about? You want to go back to 1970 to evaluate your program?
I am 100% cool with comparing current coaches, little guy, if you want to. That's
hey,
all
little
I care
guy,
about.
do you have 4 more SEC wins than South Carolina? Hey, when was your last SEC championship appearance?
I do not care
When was
that
your
you
last?
haven't been
When
good
was your last
since
SEC
Steve
championship
Spurrier
appearance?
I do not care that you haven't been
Answer.
good since Steve
When was
Spurrier
your last
left.
SEC championship appearance? I know Tennessee's acceptance rate's like 90%, but you should be competent enough to answer a simple question.
It was 07. It was 3 years older than yours.
Okay, when was South Carolina's?
3 years more recent than that.
What year is that? What year is that? I'm just a Clemson educated guy. I don't know much. What year is that?
I will not have.
That would have been 2010 when you guys went and just got mollywopped by one guy.
Okay,
you literally let one guy.
So hold up. Again, I'm just a simple Clemson guy, but is 2010 more recent than 2007, Kale?
It is. Okay, so are you admitting that we are now a better baseball team than you since we have a more recent national championship?
I could give a fuck about baseball.
It's not baseball season right now, sir. Stay on topic. Don't.
You have 4 more.
You can't sit here and say, "Oh,
the delusion is real." You have 4 more SEC wins since 2000, and you're justifying an $8 million quarterback and a 10% talent tax.
Bro,
you are Kentucky Junior.
You're
South Carolina.
Because we have the money to spend on
what are you talking about?
Doesn't mean
is that what it is?
Mad about it.
Where's that money gotten you the last 20 years?
We were only able to spend it without people snitching on us for 3.
Oh, is that so?
So you didn't get to cheat correctly. Got it.
Chris and Georgia, you've been wrecked. Bro, you've been wrecked. You are South Carolina.
Your best head coach
You're South
ever.
Carolina.
Your best head coach ever is literally wrote letters to fucking Shula talking about if you guys don't stop out recruiting me here at South Carolina, I'm gonna start calling the cops.
That's cool. That's cool. You have 4 more. That's cool.
He literally started.
Wins.
Steve Spurrier was the biggest snitch in college football. Everybody wants to think it was Fulmer. Steve Spurrier literally wrote a letter to fucking Shula telling him if he didn't stop.
Wait, hold on, sir. So
he was writing letters.
He wrote They posted it in the
Spurrier did to you. Man, Spurrier really did run it raw on you guys.
Oh,
man.
Spurrier,
you're butthurt.
Spurrier. I mean, he thought they were going to win this weekend. What's crazy is how much the South Carolina fans love him, and that man is literally out there fucking shaking ass for a shitty ass team in South Carolina.
You understand why they love him, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hurtful that he neglects us now.
Is on the football facility because they've given millions of dollars to that university. I mean, there's a reason that fans love him. I mean, they love Jerry Spurrier too, but I know you probably don't know much about that kind of thing because your university's funded by truck stops. So good luck with that.
Truck stops, Dish Network.
4 more wins than South Carolina since 2000.
Hell, the only reason why Bojangles fund y'all is because their director of marketing and vice president of marketing is an alum.
Hey, Kale, honestly,
are you going to beat Alabama this week, or are y'all going to shit the bed? I mean, honestly,
what do you think, Rob?
Possibly. I mean, hell, Alabama's not that good.
I don't know. Look, I can't tell if either one of these teams is worth a shit or not because I've been told that Tennessee's great and Alabama has a track record of being great. But the last time they went up there, the Hillbillies were tearing down goalposts. And
my thing is, if you look
honestly, I don't know.
If you look at Josh Heupel went into his post game conference and sat there and said, hey, we're not playing well enough. We have to get better. That starts with me. For a 6-point win over a rival that's had our number. Meanwhile, South Carolina comes in and they beat South Carolina by 2, and fucking Kalen DeBoer's all smiles and talking about I'm never going to be mad about a win. So who wants that?
That sounds akin to Shane Beamer's. We celebrate victories over here when we beat Jacksonville State.
We're dancing in the locker room, by God. Some Dabo Sweeney shit.
I just don't. I don't think Kalen DeBoer cares. I think Kalen DeBoer wants to do well enough for an NFL job to call, and he's the fuck out of there. He doesn't care if they win by 1 million or if they win by 1. As long as at the end of the year his win record is pretty damn good, and NFL teams might come calling. That's all he cares about. He is trying to get the fuck out of there already.
Is that why you could only beat Oklahoma by 10 points?
So you're saying Tennessee's got a chance? What you're telling me?
100%. It could be a pick 'em by the time kickoff happens. What are they favored by 2 right now?
Sure.
They were favored by 10 the last time they came.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted your opinion, man. That's all. I just wanted to see what you thought. I mean, you're picking Tennessee to win. All right. Well, you should come to the
show when you lose too, man. That's like earning your bones. You know what I mean?
I mean, I got no problem if it's like this. It's just you just never know who's going to show up.
Gamecock Chuck wants to know if the lot lizards hang outside
New Orleans
Stadium.
Wait. Who's hurt your feelings more, Steve Spurrier or Uncle Lou? Who's hurt your feelings more?
Hurt my feelings? I just got annoyed. I wasn't feeling sad.
Okay. Don't let Uncle Lou annoy you. He's just going to spew the same 7 or 8 points. 1998, Tennessee's not going to win anything. Josh Heupel's a fat fuck. Nico's skinny. I mean, it's the same stuff. He just brings them in different tones. So don't let him bother you.
I feel you. But yeah, I mean, maybe you guys can get you a tax. Maybe I don't know if that Gamecock.
Rob, you're forgetting the key aspect is that the Tennessee man is the most sensitive man in the contiguous United States. All right.
Are you guys?
These guys can't take a loss to save their life. They blame sand on the field. They've been talking about the same loss since 2022. It gets brought up every single stream. You have 4 more wins than South Carolina since 2000. Shut up.
I am on record saying
your opinion is invalid. You think you're Alabama and you're on the level of South Carolina.
I've never said Alabama, and I am on record saying y'all did not cheat during that game.
I saw you personally tell me Nico was a fucking potential Heisman winner.
I hope.
What are you talking about?
I don't think you cheated, and I hope if you did, it never comes out because that is for cause, and you would get out of having to pay that fat.
Listen, I hope
buyout.
I hope whatever comes out because at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, I know you need it to come out. I know you're like
the Dub's gonna stand. Hey, Chris,
was out there winning 3 games.
Chris, how do you justify having 4 more wins than South Carolina in the past 24 years?
Well, based on the way the schedules are going, it'll be at least 4. It'll be 8 by the end of the year. So
okay,
yeah.
So what's that mean for your program if you have 4 more wins?
It means
South
our
Carolina
trajectory,
in the SEC than South Carolina.
You're educated at Clemson, so I'm sure you took like a statistics class.
Hey, keep in mind, Tennessee's acceptance rates was in the high 90s just about 5 years ago.
If you look at a graph and you watch Tennessee's trajectory, it's going up.
Can you read a graph?
You were going perpendicular, almost.
Are we sure you can read a graph?
Perpendicular and going down.
Chris, are we sure you can read a graph? Let's be honest.
I'm explaining it to you, Clemson man. Do you want me to draw it out? Do you need to get off?
All I need you to do, Chris, after this,
so you can
after you go verify that you have 4 more SEC wins than South Carolina since 2000, go look up the acceptance rates for Clemson and Tennessee, and we'll see who's in the higher academic category, buddy.
What's it going to be like when you're like?
Wait a minute. Are we getting
like, what are we talking about?
About grades and academic standards? Holy
That's all
shit.
he's got because he knows next week.
Look,
he knows next
Chris,
week it's going to be.
You have
only
4
have 6
more
wins.
wins
Than us.
All right,
in 24 years than South Carolina.
Chris, I want to give you 30 seconds. Just wrap it up for me, Chris. Rob, don't say anything. I'll cut you off.
Get
your last sentence out there, Chris.
I think we have a chance to beat Bama. I think it's 50-50. I think SEC bias is insane.
I think so too, to be honest.
Because, I mean, if you look, he wants to talk about it's 4 now. What will it be at the end of the season? At the end of next season? At the end of the season after that?
They said the same thing 45 years ago, Chris.
Hey, I told you to calm down. Don't make me mute your phone. Give him a minute here, man. Holy shit, dude.
But
you're Ernie Eager just seen your first set of titties. Calm down.
But no, I think come season's end, we'll be 9-10 wins. I mean, we're going to be undefeated at home, I think, at the end of the season. So, Georgia's really the only team left on the schedule that absolutely terrifies me. Vanderbilt a little bit, but we basically get a bye week right before them, so we can prep for that fucking wishbone for 2 weeks. So,
well, at least they're not Army, and you can't cut them out of the schedule.
Well,
I'm hoping it's Army and Navy for that playoff spot at the end of the year. That'd be.
We'll see how that goes.
Tiger Red Devil says Rob has SEC bias, had the golden ticket to pull for Clemson, and he blew it. No, that's not a golden ticket. No. That's more like a piece of toilet paper with shit all over it.
Smart enough to get in, but not dumb enough to wear that god-awful orange. That's what we like to say.
Well, Chris, hey, man, thanks for coming in.
No problem,
make sure you guys show up win or lose this week, all right?
All right. Let Billy back in there.
Yeah. I wanted to talk just a second about the South Carolina game because I kind of got sidetracked by the Tennessee man.
All right, well, get with it.
They're riveting.
Yeah, I mean, instantly, I couldn't even get a word in without the Tennessee man's delusion. It was crazy. But I wanted to bring some stats because I I see the sentiment Kale and Sporty have around our quarterback play, and I'm just gonna be honest. I disagree. I don't know if you guys know this. We have 12 fumbles from the quarterback position this year. Lenoris himself has 4 interceptions and only 4 passing touchdowns. I mean, this is not good quarterback play.
He also has a higher completion percentage in the SEC games than Nico, Jackson Dart, and Nussmeier.
I mean, but he's responsible for. We've had a quarterback turnover every single game this year except for Akron. Multiple. 12 turnovers through what? What week are we? 5? I think it's week 5, week 6.
Well, week 6 with him. Week 5 with him.
That's unacceptable, and it's not scheme. Like, these turnovers aren't scheme turnovers. It's him fumbling a handoff, trying to throw it behind his back. I mean, we saw some ridiculous play this past.
The fumbling of the handoff, you can't really hold that against him. That could be anything from the center to.
Well, it's not the first time it's happened.
And
it wasn't the center. It was right in his hands. He had it clearly, put it in his hands, and then fumbled it. I mean, this is a reoccurring issue. And I saw Ashford do it. I think it was in the LSU game when he came in. I think Ashford had a very similar fumble. So it just seems like both of our quarterbacks are absolute fucking turnover machines.
They had some issues between the running back and the quarterback yesterday. But no, look, I'm not saying the guy's perfect by any stretch of the imaginations. He's done some boneheaded shit, but he's also done some good things. With a very limited receiving core too.
I can agree with that, but I think at this point, are we wanting to settle for a quarterback that can just do some good things? I don't want that in the quarterback.
You don't have a choice. I mean, you act like you have a different choice.
I think we could go out in the portal and get a starter easily.
But that's not going to help you in 2024, man.
No, but I'm talking. I know it's not going to help us now.
Hitch your ride to a quarterback you got, because that's what you got.
I realize that, but I'm talking big picture.
We're going to go 4-8. Let's get a big picture quarterback.
We're not going 4-8. I told you this last week. Our defense by itself would get us to bowl eligibility, and I'll be damned if they didn't show that last week.
The Gasparilla Bowl is waiting, sir. Somebody's got to play in it.
Well, listen, with our offense, we deserve the Gasparilla Bowl.
Billy said Sellers is improving week to week. I mean, I agree.
I don't think we're going to be able to get over the turnovers he produces. I mean, he's not showing me that. As far as that, he's not progressing. He's progressing in terms of, he can find a second read now. But I mean, week 6, every single quarterback in the country should be able to do that. You know what I mean? Let's talk about how many. I saw it yesterday. He's starting to get afraid of contact too. You remember on I think it was that first drive.
Yeah, he slid like 3 yards and
yeah. I mean, that's inexcusable, especially when have the skill set he had. He's supposed to be the guy that gets that first down.
6'5", 240.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine Connor Shaw sliding there? I mean, damn, Rattler probably puts his shoulder down and goes and gets that first down. He was nowhere near contact. He was sliding early all game.
Connor Shaw was coached by a much better coach, so let's just put that out there.
Well, I don't think this is one thing I've seen in Lenoris where he's kind of deteriorated. Is earlier in the season, he definitely didn't have a fear of contact. He was running through people. You didn't see him slide at all. But these past couple games, I saw it a little bit in the Ole Miss game too. He just seems a bit fearful of contact. And
well, maybe it's not him. Maybe they're telling him to do it because he's gotten injured.
That's also, that's a good point. I kind of considered that as well, but I don't know. I mean, that would just be weird if they were telling him, I could get sliding down, but not on a key first drive when you can easily pick up the first down. You know what I mean?
Nick with a good point. He's probably being coached to slide. They're probably telling him, get your ass down. And maybe he's stopped. Maybe instead of just going, he's stopping to think about it.
Gamecock Chuck with a good point/question. Do you guys think the lack of contact during the spring and fall camp to quarterbacks can attribute to the lack of ball security? Good point.
That is a good point. I don't I don't see how it wouldn't.
Where it's like the Ivy League. The Ivy League now, there's no contact in practice.
Really?
I think eventually the big school, there's going to get eventually. That's what it'll be in the big schools down the line, where the only hits you're going to take are in game situations. I think that's what's going to happen in practices eventually.
Well, and I will say this, in Lenoris's credit, these past 3 games have been an absolute gauntlet. I mean, 2 top 10 teams, technically 3 because LSU, I wouldn't say technically, but I mean, LSU getting the Ole Miss win. I mean, they're basically neck and neck. I don't know if y'all saw any of that game.
Yeah, I saw the end of it and parts of it driving back home.
So, I mean, that plays a little bit to Lenoris's favor is that, I mean, it's not like he's going out. He looked good versus Kentucky. He didn't look all that good versus ODU, but, I mean, the only pass you can give him is the level of competition he's faced these past 3 weeks. And me personally, I don't want to settle for that excuse in a quarterback. I think we should be holding him to a higher standard. But I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this real quick before I head out. The SEC seems as wide open as it's ever been in my life. What do you think is playing into that right now? I mean, have y'all ever seen an SEC look like this?
No, I don't think it's as wide open as you think it is. I mean, you've got what, 3 1-loss teams at the top as far as
yes, what A&M, LSU, and
Texas.
But I mean, you're only halfway through the season.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Usually by now, I mean, most teams,
not necessarily.
it's usually settled.
They're
by
starting
about
to separate themselves.
Yeah. Oh, and one more big thing. Army and Navy are ranked in this week's top 25. And a historic week. I think I read it was like the first time since the 60s or something it's happened. I mean, these service schedules.
I had a Clemson fan on Twitter ask me, how does it feel to live in the world where Carolina is not ranked, but Army and Navy are? And I said, probably about as bad as it feels to live in a world where the bitch-ass Taters aren't undefeated, but Army and fucking Navy are. Have a good day.
Well, and a good thing with that is I think it shows the importance of keeping your squads together, because Army and Navy don't see much attrition to the transfer portal, and when you get a group of guys who are bought in.
Well, no, they have 0 transfers. There are 3 teams in the top 25 that have 0 transfers: Clemson, Army, and Navy.
Well, I'm talking about players leaving as well. Like they tend to, when they go, they stay. So I think that's a testament to keeping a squad together. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
Well, I mean,
once they graduate, they become an officer. So.
Mm-hmm.
Officer. Nectarino says, "What did y'all think of the roughing the kicker call?" I thought I will say I thought the officiating in the game yesterday, for the most part, was down the middle.
Decent.
It's pretty good. I think that was I think that should have been a running into the kicker on the replay. But Beamer said that should have been a blocked punt.
They were saying that on the commentary of the game was they didn't really review the block too much, as they were just showing the guy not really get touched. But I'm kind of with you. I mean, those plays are so hard. They got to add if they actually want to get those calls accurate, it needs to be a review system. Because I mean, if you're looking at it live, you can definitely see why he called it. But when they slowed it down, I mean, damn, it was some soft ass bullshit from that punter.
Yeah. Win Model 88 says, "Who do you all think will be the most notable quarterback transfer this offseason?" Whoever the quarterback is at Purdue.
Oh, is he good?
No, I'm just kidding.
It's gotta be Lagway.
Lagway. I bet you probably right.
You think Lagway's gone?
Well, if Napier leaves, then yeah, I think Lagway's going somewhere else.
Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking maybe who was it? I thought Oregon had a really good backup behind Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Well, hey, one more thing. Hey, Christopher,
there after this year, he's like 30, isn't he?
Christopher Adam wanted me to tell y'all to see if he was blocked from the channel because he was saying
I know he's already messaged me, and I haven't had to. I gotta
just create a new account, buddy. Hey, horns down, go Cox.
I've got to get in here and look and see what's going on, but somebody blocked him for no reason.
Yeah, don't be fucking with Christopher. But best D-line in the country, quarter zip. We're coming for your ass. Clemson, fuck yourself.
Jesus Christ. Volcor, what do you got?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to kind of elaborate on the whole argument that went on earlier with the Tennessee and South Carolina stuff, where they're trying to figure out who's the better program in the last 20 years, and I wanted to offer my 2 cents on that. As far as it's been the last 20 years, we're pretty much dead even. I mean, both programs have been mid to good at best, really. You know, Tennessee fans want to act like we've been the next best thing since sliced bread for the last 20 years for some reason, when we haven't at all. And, you know, like, I would say I would give the edge to Tennessee over the last 2 or 3 years, just because I think the trajectory of our program is going in a better direction. But overall, I mean, it's pretty dead even. I mean, I don't understand why everybody gets on here and gets all salty about it, because there's really no point in arguing about it. And I never understood it. But
the thing that makes me mad about South Carolina winning 11 games 3 years in a row is that they were this close to taking the next step. And instead of taking the next step, they fell off the damn mountain.
Yeah, right. You know, that
in a major way.
That was in 2013, 2014, right? I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling, and I think a lot of Tennessee fans are feeling similar feelings, because, you know, like, obviously we hired Heupel in 2021, and we had a pretty okay year considering the amount of talent we had. And then 2022, we kind of caught lightning in a bottle. So everybody's expectation were, okay, let's make the next step. Let's get a defense in here, and let's let this Heupel offense run. And we really haven't seen that at all. And it's really been shocking because, you know, I'll be honest, even me, myself, thought that the Heupel offense was going to thrive under any quarterback. And it's pretty clear that's just not what is going to happen, because we saw that with Milton. Milton was god-awful. And to be fair, Nico really hasn't been much better.
Cool. Well, hey, Volcor, appreciate you checking us out, and make sure you like the show, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate
it.
Thank
you. All right. Christopher comes in. Jackpot, let's get him in here. Welcome to the show, sir.
Y'all? So,
Rita, Rob has an SEC bias with the super chat. Volcor bringing the sanity here. Love to see it. From your own crowd, Billy and Chris, accept it. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate that. All right, what do you got there, Chris?
what's up, y'all? So, I guess I just had a question for Jackpot. So, how was it in the stadium of Bama when the onside kick got recovered? I mean, it was like they've been practicing that thing over and over again. I mean, it was perfection. I mean, I liked it.
Yeah, they were quiet. I mean, you could hear a pin drop from their end, but that was some pretty good shit.
I mean, it really, you know, I thought the game was over, you know, and then all I see is an onside kick recovered, and I mean, it really shook me in a way. Does Kroger have another year? Or is this his last year?
I think he's a senior.
That's what I thought. That's sad.
I think he's gone. But the kid that they recruited, that's kid Mason Love from Missouri, is supposed to be really good too. They need to find a new field goal kicker quick, fast, in a hurry, because that guy sucks. That was the reason why that last play, when he threw that interception, we threw it in the end zone, and like we had a check down guy who was open right here at like the 38-yard line. They could have caught that ball and probably got another 8 to 10 yards and gotten out of bounds. But like I think they went for the end zone. I think that was probably what they told him to do, because I don't think they trust that kid.
Yeah. And I understand that, but at the same time, is, you know, you got to be able to trust your field goal kicker. I know we don't have the field goal kicker like we did last year, but at the same time, you know, you kind of just got to shoot. I mean, what I'd like to see more of is, I think we can confirm that Harvard isn't perfect, but he has come a long way with the time that he spent in track and now in football. Why can't we do some more deep passes with him? You know, I think the O-line needs some help. Don't laugh, Rob. I know you want to laugh. The O-line does need some work. I've already admitted
I didn't laugh.
I'm just messing with you, buddy. But
no, we talked about it before that the line could use some help, but
yeah,
I'm not in tune with the guy calling plays. I think that there's been segments where, and even Jackpot's talked about it, like Juju McDowell is 5'6", 150 pounds soaking wet. Why are you
do
running
not run
him?
him up the middle.
well, thank God
do
we
that.
didn't see him. They kind of went away from him a little bit.
He didn't have a carry. He didn't even make the box score. So
They
maybe
must have
somebody
heard
finally
us.
shook him, but
They must have heard the crap
understand
talk.
why you're taking a guy that small and running in between the tackles.
No.
That's on the offensive play caller. So
Maybe
there's
maybe a jet sweep, right? You might could believe that, but up the middle,
you could buy all kind of stuff, but like running him in between the tackles is stupid, especially when
not
you've
gonna
got
work.
an
No.
all-conference running back in Rocket Sanders. I mean, who's that big of a guy? I mean, that's.
But I think we do agree. Rocket was not 100% against Ole Miss, and that Ole Miss game is not Carolina. I think there's a lot of emotion.
We don't know. We don't know if he was 100% or not. We don't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he was, but that's my opinion. But
sure.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, he's getting better and better.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, the other comment.
Kind of talked about Harbor too. People talking about that over there. That catch he made in the end zone. Holy crap! Way to come off the milk carton there, young fella.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a catch.
That shows you that even you wouldn't last year, like I said before, he wouldn't have made that catch with a toe inbounds. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have happened. He probably wouldn't have caught it. So it just showed that Mike Furry and his progress is really working, and I like Furry's his recruit stays pulling in too. I think it's really good for the program.
So, well, good for them. We shall see.
But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say, man. No, that's it.
You have a good night. We'll talk to you guys later on. All right, there you go, Jackpot. What else you got for this evening, sir? Anything else you want to put out there?
No, just football season's halfway over with, but we will have our live stream. They will resume this coming Saturday at 12:45. Gamecocks versus Oklahoma from the land of good old JR, and I'm looking forward to that one. I think it's finally time we get up off the mat here and get ourselves another SEC win. About time.
What's out for you, man? I mean, look, if you win that game, it's a stepping stone, because then you got to look at what A&M's at home, right? A&M's at home. That's
the A&M. 2 out of the last 3 SEC games are at home.
Yeah, the only one that's on the. Yeah, so Missouri's the last SEC home game. You play Vanderbilt and A&M after these two. So
right.
Yeah, so we'll see how that works.
Hard to believe football season that we're this deep into it already, man. It really is strange, especially with the way the weather felt outside today. It was hot, and I should have been outside doing something, but I wasn't because I was tired after that trip, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I slept this morning until like 9 o'clock. Got out, went. I had to go pull up a store for some tater chips, and then I came back home, and I didn't do much.
What did I? You didn't make Jackpot Junior drive? You gotta let him drive a little bit.
No, I've got this thing when I go on long trips, man. I don't like other people driving. I'm just that's just how I am. I don't know where I got it from, but I just figure, we're going to get in a wreck and everybody's going to die. Might as well be my fault, I guess. But I feel safer.
I'm looking at the extended forecast says that we're going to it's going to be 80 tomorrow, 70 Tuesday, 63 Wednesday, 64 Thursday, 70 on Friday. So, I mean, that's some fall type weather. It's going to be in the 30s on Wednesday night. The wife may make me go get some wood or some shit for the fireplace.
Be in the 30s on Wednesday night?
30. It says 39 degrees Wednesday night. So, yeah. It's a little brisk. A little brisk.
Yeah, Alabama is not it's really it's not an awful place. Not bad at all. What little I saw of it, It's wide. I don't know. It's spread out wider, and it seems like a less congested version of South Carolina. South Carolina feels like people are kind of packed on top of each other. I think like land area wise, Alabama is probably a bigger state, I would think. So I don't know. It's not a bad place at all.
Well, there you go. Jackpots of Alabama. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys checking out the show. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. More info on the live show coming up here by the middle of the week once I nail some stuff down. Yeah. So there you go. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.
All right, guys.